as the foods that work for my friend doesn't work for me? How come some people eat all they want but still look great and healthy? Hello, I'm Dr. Burcu Beba, aka Dr. Bibi. The doctor title is due to my doctorate in clinical nutrition. After years of working in corporate world on business and marketing, I discovered my passion as nutrition and helping people get better through it. I was in my mid-30s in the country I have recently moved in. Had a 3-year-old and I went back to school while I was working full-time to support my education at that point. Got my health coaching certificate after a 1.5 year program. Got my master's in applied nutrition at Northeastern, then my doctorate in clinical nutrition at Maryland University of Integrative Health based on functional wellness principles. Currently, I live, work, and walk my talk in New Jersey and helping my clients turn around their health and wellness. I hope I can create a positive change in your lives with those series we designed with Global HR Summit team. Let's start off with a deep question. Who am I? What are the factors that make me me? Of course, we're made up of cells that come together to create organs that come together to create the systems. But is that all? Are we a compilation of systems? We host bacteria that are 10 times the amount of cells in our body. They play a significant role in our wellness, from our immunity to mental health. It is so vital that by correcting the bacterial imbalances, it is possible to reverse some health issues. Or when the bacterial environment called microbiome is disturbed, health problems start to arise. We need to balance the good, bad, and opportunistic bacteria that live with us to keep our microbiome and our body in a healthy state. Our genetics and moreover our epigenetics that are made up of our DNA and proteins around them can impact our tendencies, how efficient our systems work, and also get impacted by our environment, including foods too. On top of that, each of us have a different lifestyle from our families, cultures, society, and it's further shaped by our preferences. These make us different from our friends in various ways, such as daily habits, food choices, thoughts, and more. Again, the environment we live in molds us in different ways. When we change our environments, which includes the people and the geographical location, we may act, live, and eat differently. Speaking of locations, air, water, soil quality in a place can influence our well-being as well. Think of living by the sea, getting ions throughout the day to boost our health, or living in a moldy house and experiencing health issues due to it. On top of that, our psychology, emotional health interacts with our physical health in bidirectional way and impacts our well-being significantly. We also need to add the energy or spiritual component that is intertwined with our physical and emotional status to create the complete picture that creates me. I mean, not me, but self. So when we say nutrients, we think of nourishing our systems and maybe our microbiome, right? Yet if we think in depth, nutrients in foods impact our epigenetics, modifying the proteins around our DNA, our mental health, energy, therefore habits, and even our environment. No wonder we see people glowing after a good detox or monks going on a special diet to purify their physical bodies before they go into their practice. Let's look at the nutritional science behind our nutrients. We call the big guys macronutrients. They include the carbs, that is short for the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. We need the big guys to fill us in, of course, in different combinations for everyone. The small yet mighty ones are called micronutrients. These are vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients, which mean plant nutrients. Without these little ones, some macronutrients may not be utilized in the body effectively. As an example, carbohydrates turn into sugar in the body, get into the cell, then into the mitochondria inside the cell to create the maximum amount of energy. But if there is not sufficient magnesium in the body, then the sugar actually cannot get into the mitochondria but stay in the cell, making much less energy than what is possible. Another component, phytonutrients or plant nutrients, have numerous health benefits, and more is being discovered by the moment. From lowering the risks of cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, to strengthening immunity, helping healthy aging, repairing DNA damages, and more. Indeed, a doctor's study on over 60,000 participants found that those with the highest instance of erectile dysfunction were the ones with the lowest blood vitamin D levels and the lowest intake of phytonutrients. So these small guys impact various areas of health for sure. Another nutrient that significantly impacts our health is fiber. Whether you think of fiber as a sponge that cleanses the body from inside, or as a special bacteria food to nurture our microbiome, it surely has a special place in our nutrition and well-being. For anyone having insulin resistance, pre-diabetes or diabetes, fiber is your buddy for a deep cleanse along with a good amount of water, of course. I usually recommend getting the fiber from foods versus the supplements for a balanced soluble to insoluble fiber intake that occurs naturally in the plants in different ratios. I recommend a minimum of 25 grams of fiber up to 45. Yet please keep in mind that this is a recommendation and may not work everyone if there are any colon issues, IBD flares and such. Last but not the least, water is a super important nutrient for our health. From having a blood with good viscosity, therefore getting all the absorbed nutrients into all our cells, to disposing the waste of the cell for a healthy urine and stool formation and taking the toxins out of the body. Water is needed in every function of the body. Have high blood pressure? Increase your water intake. Have a headache? Make sure you're hydrated first. Want to get on a detox? Start with drinking more water. And actually start your day with warm water with some lemon juice and grated fresh ginger. Health really starts with water. Okay, we have purchased the healthiest and tastiest foods, prepared and cooked them, then ate them. How do we know they actually get into the cells and our body gets to use them effectively? To avoid being the tube between the supermarket or farmer's market and the bathroom, where all those goodies gets out of the body and flushed, we need to make sure that our bodies can absorb them properly. We have three main players in this area that help us to do that: stomach acid, bile, and enzymes. Stomach acid, in the beginning, it is needed to mash and mix all the nutrients, especially the proteins. And if it's not enough, the foods may not get mixed well and proteins do not get broken down properly. In this case, when they arrive in the small intestine, they wouldn't be absorbed effectively into the bloodstream. And when the stomach acid is low, the nutrients such as some vitamins and minerals that need to be absorbed in certain parts of the small intestine with a certain pH level will not be absorbed either. Stomach acid is made from body's own secretions with a high amount of energy use. This acid has a very low pH, and if we took it out from the stomach into our hands, it could surely damage our skin. But since the stomach is coated with protective layers, it doesn't harm the stomach's lining. However, since the stomach acid requires a lot of energy in the making, when we're low in energy, such as the times when we're sick, stressed, or tired, our body will not be able to make enough stomach acid, and digestive function, especially of the proteins, will not work well. This is one of the reasons why we are recommended to eat low protein, easily digestible foods when we're sick. Also, when stomach acid is low, our stomach muscles work harder to mix the foods, as if a washing machine with a higher spin setting. Due to this powerful squeezing of the muscles in the stomach, some stomach acid may actually squirt back from the esophagus, which is our food pipe, and may cause what is commonly referred to as heartburn. However, in this case, the cause is not extra stomach acid, but indeed low stomach acid. And if in error, one uses the heartburn tablets or syrup to further lower the stomach acid, it may momentarily help with the stomach acid in the esophagus, but can cause a larger issue in the later, as it further lowers your stomach acid. In this case, what would help is actually increasing the stomach acid while eating. Maybe while you're eating the foods, you can have a little vinegar in a little water, not too much water. Digestive bitters, pickled or fermented foods, or adding in stomach acid supplements as long as there is no ulcers in the stomach. Please remember that these are all general information and not to be taken as individualized health recommendations. The next helper is the bile, the yellowish green substance produced by the liver and stored by gallbladder. When the mixture in the stomach reaches the small intestine, gallbladder dumps the bile on top of this mixture. Here, the bile acts as the detergent to dissolve the fats into their components, so that in the next step, they can be properly mixed with enzymes and absorbed in the small intestine. If there is not enough bile, the fats may not be getting absorbed properly. And considering how crucial the fats are in our cell walls to repair or make new cells, or for our neurological health, we might face a lot of issues in the medium to long run with low absorption of fats. Here, I would like to also underline that gallbladder removal surgery is a very easy and common procedure, but it is a very important one that needs to be understood with all its implications. Once the gallbladder is removed, liver keeps making the bile. However, it is not stored anymore in the gallbladder or is an amount to dissolve all the fats properly in a regular meal. Therefore, after gallbladder removal, somebody needs to have that operation needs to be in a lifelong, well-planned diet to properly absorb the fats or be on the bile supplements for the optimal health. Now we have the mixed, pre-broken down nutrients, and they need to be absorbed through the hair-like villi in the small intestine. For doing so, they need the final tool, the digestive enzymes from pancreas to further break them down into their smallest components. Enzymes, stomach acid, and bile work together for proper digestion. As you can see, that's a very hefty process that requires many steps to get your garden salad, club sandwich, or filet mignon to your cells. What are some of the things that you can do right away to remedy any digestive issues you might be experiencing? Maybe lower or ditch heartburn meds after discussing with your doctor, of course, or try digestive bitters or enzymes, or work with a functional nutritionist to solve those issues for good. The factors that makes us are different. So are our nutrients and their absorption in their bodies. Therefore, it's likely that things that work for a colleague or a friend may not work for us. In the next episode of this video, we'll be talking about nutrition for different needs, supplements, and different diet types. We'll discuss nutrition for energy, nutrition for microbiome, genetics, health conditions, life stages, and more in depth. The tip for this week is evaluating your starting point. Without knowing where you start, it is hard to keep your motivation and figure out your next steps. Come on, it's time to evaluate yourself from 0 to 10. 0 being the worst shape, 10 being the best. How is your eating healthy levels? Am I eating a healthy diet that fits my needs? Where is my energy levels? Do I have the midday crashes that needs coffee or sweets to pick me up? How is my emotional health? Do I have any worries, anxiety, depression? How is my digestive health? Any gas, bloating, upset stomach aches? How tranquil am I? And how easy do I deal with stress? The higher the point, the better you are. If your points go lower, then make sure to follow us, since it may be time for you to focus on your health and make changes. In collaboration with the Global HR Summit team, we will be sharing these videos periodically with you before we meet at the summit on June 5th and 6th. Thank you and stay functionally healthy.